All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Squared Circle Action Figure Podcast YouTube channel, Uncensored. We're back for another Week in Wrestling recap. Thursday night, back to the normal time slot, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the YouTube channel. Don't forget, if you're the first time watching, to give us a follow on all social media platforms at SQD Circle AFP. We have an Instagram channel or page, Twitter. We also have a YouTube channel here, the live stream, and Whatnot. Find us on Whatnot. We do a lot of card sales. I think I'm selling some action figures too. Seth Bayer's back with us. Seth, where can everybody find you out there?
I'm excited because I didn't get cut off today during our conversation.
I was very polite and professional.
You were. Thanks everybody for joining us on another episode. You can follow me on YouTube at my name, Seth Bayer. Same thing as Instagram. And then also you can check me out on Facebook. I started a Facebook group. It is called the Bayer Faction of Collectors, or the BFC, if you want to call it that. And exactly. So thanks for having me back on as always, Will. It's always a pleasure to talk shop with you. And
Yeah, it's fun, Seth. That's I'm happy that you're back again here on the YouTube live stream here. You know, it's so funny. We started out as an action figure podcast. It kind of expanded into the Instagram. We're doing a lot of different things lately. It expanded into this YouTube channel live stream as well. I'm not into the reviews right now. I'm spread a little thin. But guys and gals, if you are looking for figure reviews on some of the, top high-end wrestling figures out there, or some of even the Mezco stuff and things of that nature, check out Seth's channel. Awesome channel. He also does a lot of fig hunt videos, which I personally don't do. So go over to that channel, subscribe to his page. I love the new figure hunt you just posted recently about finding Police Academy and everything. It's great.
I hit the streets so people don't have to.
Yeah. It's such a sophisticated way of getting what you want these days. We watch videos and then we go into our devices and we plug in numbers to see if stores have what we want, and then we get.
I mean, listen, for the longest time, I've been an advocate for not buying stuff online unless I absolutely positively have to, because when I go out, I like to experience the thrill of finding what I'm looking for, and that's what makes it all rewarding. That's what makes it very, very genuine in the videos, rather than just getting it in and be like, oh, look at what I ordered and look what came in. It's like, I want people to feel what I'm feeling. You got me, Will?
Oh, I got you, Seth. And hey, I can resonate with that, because it's like when we were a little kid, we didn't have this thing called the internet, the YouTube, the Facebook,
the Google machine,
Instagram, the machine of all sorts, the Twitter machine. That didn't exist. So we're old timers here. We remember when we used to go out to these stores. Brings that back, those good time feelings of finding what you want, getting what your friends had, kind of just collecting it, talking about it, playing with it. I mean, everything. So it's super fun to get out there and do that. I agree with you. I think more people should, and you support local businesses too, especially when you go to a lot of these vintage locations and stuff.
Exactly.
So we will talk a little bit about action figures. We will talk a little bit about wrestling figures at the end of the show. That's kind of our format here at the Squared Circle Action Figure Podcast YouTube live stream, Uncensored. I think that's a lot to say, and I was going to get to this, but I think I'm going to go through a name change, guys. So I think we're going to do a little change to the name, at least when it comes to like a podcast and a YouTube platform. And then we're going to tie it back in with the collectibles. So, you've got my collectibles pages. You have the YouTube live streams, which are going to predominantly feature what we do right now, week in wrestling recaps. So especially when we had a big week in wrestling, like we did this past Saturday. I thought it all starts really Friday night on SmackDown, and then Collision on Saturday. Seth, I would start there. I think both shows were great. What did you think of Collision? Because everybody has been, giving their opinion on it.
Collision was fantastic. SmackDown was solid. up in SmackDown was solid. I mean, like the whole SmackDown episode was kind of meh in my opinion, but at the end was obviously the best, because then we finally got, the Usos kind of separating themselves from the bloodline, which is great, which is going to set up for a interesting tag match at Money in the Bank, and obviously see where the bloodline storylines from there. But nothing that can't even touch what happened on Saturday night, where we got the return of my favorite wrestler, mostly everyone's favorite wrestler. We got the return of the man CM Punk. Fantastic promo. A lot of people were expecting him to come out and, issue an apology and kind of be sincere. And he came out, he took the sleeve right off the microphone, and we knew right there we were going to get Pipe Bomb 2.0. And, he came out and just laid it all out there. It was just zero fucks given. And it was great because, yes, no one will ever really know the truth about what actually happened backstage that night. But, people who are guilty, in my opinion, sometimes don't speak the truth. And he came out and, basically called out the Bucks. He had the line where people were like, oh, I'm sorry that the wrestlers you root for are soft, and I was like, damn, I was like, all right, so that's a shot, at Kenny, it was a shot at Kenny, so I mean, again, he put it out there. What's interesting though, he got the reaction that he got, obviously was in Chicago, right? Because obviously that's where he's from. It would have been interesting to see if he came out and they were in a different city and he cut that exact same promo. I wonder what the reaction would have been.
Yeah, I agree with you. I was thinking that as I was watching this promo, but going back to Pipe Bomb, I wouldn't put it, I'm not going to, I know you just used that as an analogy, a Pipe Bomb-esque promo. It was definitely not a Pipe Bomb. I think we both agree with that at the very least. I think the promo was great. I thought it was solid. I think it's the best promo I've seen on AEW programming probably in the last 6 months, albeit maybe some MJF stuff that I just forgot about. But with that said, there is always going to be that question. Yes, if he did show up in another town, who knows, maybe in LA, even like the Bucks, or maybe even a New York City or somewhere down south, it would have been interesting to see if he got that same reaction. Personally, you put him, I think, in the city or Jersey, I think he gets a pretty similar reaction. And probably everywhere else except that those West Coast areas.
Except for California would be a safe bet.
Yeah. I mean, let's just put it to you this way. Wrestling figures are tribalistic, territorial. I mean, wrestling figures, not wrestling fans. And Marks at the same time. So
yeah, I mean, it'll definitely be interesting to see what happens on Sunday when they're in Toronto for Forbidden Door.
Yes, and I was very happy that he did not get the match with Kenta. That's just me, real quickly on that.
Yeah, so it'll definitely be interesting, especially since Toronto is Kenny Omega territory. So it'll definitely be interesting to see the reaction that he gets when he comes out for his match for the Owen Hart tournament.
Yes.
So
we'll see it then. I think that's why they kind of stayed away from maybe a big main event match for him. And I heard that he didn't want to work with Kenta, but I personally think that you're right. Let's put him in the Owen Hart qualifier. His opponent, I don't know anything about, but I've heard, I'm not going to give an opinion, but I've heard good things about him. So, and a lot of people like a Bully Ray, Bubba Ray Dudley, even said that he feels that it's a good match for both the guys. So
yeah,
with that said, I'm going to trust that opinion. And I think he's going to do well, though. I think Canadians are one of the best wrestling fans in the world. I think he is going to get a really great standing ovation regardless. And that's that whole dynamic, right? It wasn't really Kenny that has this issue. It's not really Kenny and Punk.
Yeah, it's really the Bucks. Yeah.
So I don't know if we'll see. I mean, hey, hell, there's going to be a hell of a lot of people there, so we'll find out.
If anything, it's not even really the Bucks. If you want to finger point, it's more Hangman Page than anybody.
Yeah, Hangman Page. So yeah, and I think it was just the reaction that you were getting from that group because they're all friends, and I think anybody
Yeah.
all friends want to stick up for each other, right? So
Right, exactly. But as far as the rest of Collision goes, the match between Andrade and Buddy Matthews was great. It was great to see Miro back. I'd like to see these guys that have been off TV for a while get a significant push. I mean, again, like Andrade is kind of like, mid, like on the fence for me, but definitely Miro, man. Miro deserves to have a belt back or something. Like he should really be the one next in line to fight Luchasaurus to get the TBS belt back.
Yeah, or have him beat Cassidy. I mean, just demolish him. He's a European. He's
true.
I mean,
that's true.
Maybe it's just better to go in that direction. I agree with everything you said. There's nothing to really talk about here. This match was one of the best weekday matches you could get. Buddy Andrade was great. I mean, it was everything you want in a match. A little high flying. Most of the spots were taking place in the ring, though. Everything was executed really well. The refereeing was great too. I'm surprised to say that. And it was just a very, very solid match. And you know what I love? Even though they're two smaller guys, they're still big and beefy. This show had big, beefy men on it. And they were throwing people around and beating people up. And that's what I want to see in my wrestling. I want big men and women smacking each other up. That's what I love to see. And that was this whole card up and down, including that Miro match,
Yeah.
Even look at Tony Nese, not the biggest guy overall, but man, muscular and
he's got some girth to him. Yeah.
Jacked, and that's, and Miro just destroying him was, just boom.
Yeah. You knew that was going to be a squash match.
But I liked it. He still stayed in it. And it still showed that he had some beef. He had some size. And that's from top to bottom. That's all I saw on this whole card. Big, beefy men and women just demolishing each other. And that's what I love in my professional wrestling. Maybe I'm old school or whatever, but that's what I absolutely love. This show was an A.
I like a mix. I like a good mix of everything. I like a good mix of everything. It just keeps it, it keeps the show flowing. It, keeps people engaged. Yeah,
it's going to be interesting to see whether or not they're going to add some of those elements. Will Collision just be this big man show or big man RS show?
Well, it's going to be interesting too who crosses over from Dynamite and Rampage into Collision and back and forth. I mean, not to jump ahead, but speaking of that, CM Punk showed up on Dynamite. And people were like, people didn't think that was going to happen. That whole backstage segment that happened with Kenny and the Bucks and Hangman and Eddie Kingston, that was all taped because we know as well as I do that those guys can't be at the same place at the same time. So so that whole backstage segment was pre-taped. And I thought it was interesting that he showed up. I didn't think that, but it's good to see that, they're going to at least have somewhat bouncing around between shows. I mean, obviously by them doing that, they're trying not to show that the locker room is divided, even though, all the reports say that everybody's divided back there. So
yeah, and I don't think that's the case. Obviously, reports are reports. I was actually surprised that CM Punk was showing up on this show. I believe Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful.com reported it prior to the show, and I was like, no way, because he wasn't advertised, right? And you figured you want him advertised, but I forgot it was in Chicago. And when I heard the pop, I'm like, oh shit, they're in Chicago, but it was great. The run-in was great. You break down the segment and everything, even with the Hardys and the Guns. The Guns are awesome. Just let me put, they deserved to have the titles when they had it, and they're just even better for it now. I mean, they are just a great tag team.
It's so funny when the Guns come out, because it's like, I feel like when they come out, they looks like they raided Shawn Michaels like old wrestling gear.
What a tribute. Oh my God.
So I'm like waiting for the music to hit. you think I'm kidding? You know, I'm waiting for that to hit because especially on Austin, you know, because the way the top piece looks, it looks almost identical to something Shawn Michaels would have wore back in the Attitude Era.
Man, tell you about a trivia. That was one right there. You get this. Yes, you get those callbacks, which I love. They respect the wrestling history, right? The traditions, and you could see that they're their father's sons, obviously, and they're going to be a hell of a tag team as they continue to get better and they grow older. I mean, they will be one of the best probably ever to go down in the books. You know, I could even say that if I had to put my money on it, they would be the next Usos of professional wrestling. You know, you have a tag team like this that enters maybe every once in 10 years, maybe, you know, because really, I mean, you don't think they could get to even if they are in the WWE, you don't think so?
I don't know, man. Listen, tag teams, in my opinion, are a very, very finicky thing because you're always going to in the tag teams you're always going to have that one. The dynamic is that you're going to have one guy who wants to be the team, and then you're going to have the other guy who's going to be the breakout star. And that's kind of like what we're seeing kind of with the Street Profits. You know, Angelo Dawkins is kind of like middle of the road, you know, and Montez Ford is a freaking star. The guy is a star. The guy's got the look, the build, the mic skills, everything. And, you know, and they're a great tag team, but you know, as well as I do, they're going to eventually wind up splitting up because Montez is going to want a singles run. Yeah. It's going to happen. You know, I mean, look at, you know, see, and that was the great thing about Jimmy and Jay. You know, Jay was Jay was out almost that whole time when Jimmy was the right hand guy, and then he actually had a singles run going, you know, so he experienced that, you know, but it's hard to see that. So it's like, you know, especially with the with the guns, you know, I see one of them being a breakout star, and I see one of them, you know, just kind of being mediocre. And again, you know, I don't think they've got the wheels to go all the way to that type of level. You know, when you're doing a tag team, dude, you've got to be committed. You've got to be committed. I mean, that's the thing, because otherwise, you know, there's no point. I mean, like look at FTR, you know, and the Young Bucks. Those guys are never going to have singles, you know, single runs. Those guys are true legit tag teams. Mm-hmm. And you know, and that's that. I mean, even look at Edge and Christian. Edge and Christian they were a great tag team, but they were both destined to go their own ways. So it's like, again, when you look at tag team, you got to think, okay, do these guys really have the whereabouts to go the distance, or is someone going to wind up leaving and want to do their own thing?
It's going to be interesting to see, because so the traditional route in more modern day wrestling is that's what happens with the tag team. Even in the past, I mean, look at the Rockers, Marty Jannetty.
Yeah, Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty.
Bret Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart, et cetera, et cetera. I do find you do find exceptions, and I think the Usos are currently one of those exceptions. FTR as well. I don't want to dismiss how FTR is one of the best tag teams of the modern era, but I think in this instance it's very difficult. Like if I look at them, you know, and they're on my screen and I'm looking at them right now, I'm like, you would think one over the other. But then I'm like in my head, well, not really, because he's smaller and he doesn't have the size, and they both talk well on the mic. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, personally, would love to see it. Their dad did a lot of tag team wrestling. They are brothers, which also hopefully helps. I don't think a good comparison is the Street Profits perfectly, just personally, because Angelo Dawkins and Montez, they're just too, you know, that Montez has it and Angelo won't.
Exactly.
And it's just so stark, you know. In comparison, I think personally for me, this one, I think they could have a really good run in them, but yes, I think there will always be one of them either trying to go out on their own or doing something else. I think you're right there. So regardless, right now as a tag team, I think they're great in wrestling. I hope they do stick together as long as possible, and they could, end up going for a great run. Look, I'm not a big parties guy anymore. I think they should really not be in the ring anymore, but the match was okay. And then we got the aftermath. So that was
Jeff. Well, the reason they even did that with the aftermath is because Jeff can't travel to Canada because of all the stuff that's happened in the past. But yeah, I mean, listen, I mean, Matt still has a little left in the tank. I think Jeff, it's time for Jeff to call it a day. I just don't think he's there anymore.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. Like you said, they probably won't be in Canada, and et cetera, et cetera. Double J and concession stand brawl with Mark Briscoe.
That was. I mean, listen. I mean, I get it for what it's worth, but it's like it sucks though because it's like I feel like they've turned Mark Briscoe into like a gimmick.
Oh my God. I feel the same way. It's like he's a action figure and they're playing with him, It's just like, it's cringy. It's getting bad.
It's like I get it, It's like the guy was one of the best, the guy was one of the best tag team wrestlers, and it's like, now you don't know what to do with him on his own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it's getting a little cringy. I agree with that. I don't like it at all either. I think possibly having his father come in is good. I don't know how much wrestling experience his father does have, but I did hear some people talking about possibly them going together. And do you put the belts on them? I don't know. But what do you do after? There's still what do you do after? And I get it. Like you said, you kind of have to put him in the mix just because of what happened. But when does that slowly fade into the sunset? I don't think
when's enough. When is enough?
And it's not even that. It's before he starts really looking like a fool too, right? I mean, like I'm kind of getting that a little bit right now. So we'll move on. I don't want to be negative about that segment or that match because it was fun, but it was like again. And like you said, I mean, I think they need to move on from this, but trios match, Chris Jericho and the like. I don't need to see Action Andretti and all these people on my screen.
Yeah, we just need to see Sting and Jericho.
That's it.
And I think that's what we're gonna wind up getting at Wembley. We're gonna get Jericho and Sting, and it's gonna be probably a career versus career match. And Sting's gonna get his swan song and call it a day.
I agree with you. I hope that's it. He looked terrible in the match last week.
I mean, like you can even look at like some point last week, he's like looking around like, what the hell's going on?
Oh, he was so pissed off. At one point I heard him say like, what the fuck or something. He was like, are you kidding me? Or something, yelling at a guy. He's just like, this is not how wrestling should be, He
just doesn't, he just doesn't have the patience for it anymore. I mean, listen, the guy's 64 years old. What more do you want from the guy? Yeah,
Maybe you'll see him on Collision more. I don't know, but hopefully leading up to this, but I don't think with Jericho being booked on Dynamite pretty much exclusively right now, but yes, they should be together. 65,000 people, Wembley Stadium. Stinger, goodbye, swan song, and then you can manage and just hang out, right?
Not even that. Just if he just wants to be there anymore.
Yeah, I think he may want to do stuff around the back and help out Darby and stuff, and maybe you don't do it right away and you bring him in later because he still gets the pop. People want to see him, right? I mean, But maybe he doesn't. Like you said, who knows? If he doesn't want to do it, then let him go. It's fine. Yeah, let him retire and that be done. And hey, look, it's better than the WrestleMania shit him and Triple H did. So
oh my God, that was bad.
I don't even remember what WrestleMania that was. I just want to keep
that was the WrestleMania in San Francisco where Seth cashed in on Brock and Roman.
Yes.
In Levi Stadium.
Oof. Oof. All right. Well, now
that was Monday Night Raw though.
What happened after that? I forgot on Raw.
Oh no, we had that six man tag for that main event, which was the Judgment Day. The Judgment Day against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and Cody, which was a good match. We got the return of Tommaso Ciampa, which was awesome. It's good to see him back. I'm hoping at some point him and Gargano get reunited, and they DIY comes back. Because Gargano's just kind of sitting around probably in creative right now with nothing to do.
Yeah. So no, hey, I got you. Raw was good. I mean, we can move on if you want. I mean, I was gonna really just talk about Dynamite. I mean, but I just had a pause there. I had a brain fart. Adam Cole, we had on Dynamite too. Yeah. We had Zack Sabre Jr. We had Chris Statlander, Taya Valkyrie, and then Eddie Kingston in the final go home. I don't know. This show was good. I liked it for a go home show.
It was a solid show.
We were talking about MJF and Adam Cole and the possibilities of interweaving CM Punk into there. I think we did a lot of that. We were talking a lot about that offline. What do you think about that? Do you think that they could potentially do something like that?
I mean, they could. It just depends on how, it depends on if all parties are okay with that. I mean, obviously Punk's going to be okay with it, but then, you got to look at Adam Cole and MJF. I mean, I see out of those two, I see MJF being the most resistant between the two, because Punk in the past has come out and he's had nothing but great things to say about Adam Cole and what a great person he is, and things like that. So there's a level of respect there between them two. It's just the back and forth banter between Punk and MJF can they coexist after everything that's happened?
Yes, and I think they can personally. I don't know that for a fact, but I would love to see something between all three of these. And I think it's a way to get the belt off of MJF without him not like technically losing. So I don't know if that's because obviously he's gonna have to lose.
You don't want to make him look weak, so you don't want him to take the pin.
Yeah. So if you do throw Punk, and then obviously interwoven everything. I never lost this title. And this could actually be a way for Colt to win the title. I mean, now I don't know if CM Punk wants that.
I wouldn't be opposed. I wouldn't be opposed for Adam Cole winning that. I think Adam Cole is very deserving of carrying that belt. I think Adam Cole has the possibility of putting on more entertaining matches than MJF does. I mean, the whole lore of MJF is his mic work, is his in-ring work good? Yeah, but you know what? People like to watch him talk, not to wrestle. And I think, Adam Cole's the type of guy that's the total package, and he'll give the people a good promo. He'll give the people a good match in the ring, and he can go.
If Adam Cole is booked like he was in NXT, they're not going to have a problem getting him over, being your big babyface champion. And like you said, let MJF go out there and be a chasing heel and get back to the championship eventually.
Right.
And then you have CM Punk also kind of passing it on. Okay, I'm still here. It's not that I don't want to be the champion right now, but it's not a good time for me to be champion. Yeah. And it settles that debate. He can go on, have his programs with whoever he wants to next, Jericho, whomever, Samoa Joe, and then help build talent, help foster the new generation, and put good shows on a Saturday night and hopefully Wednesday. This is not a bad Wednesday show, because this Wednesday show is great.
Right. So, totally agree. I mean, again, when CM Punk came back, that was one of the things he said, he was here to help the younger talent. Now's the time to kind of put your money where your mouth is,
Exactly. So we do have Forbidden Door coming up. Did you like all the Eddie Kingston stuff and stuff like that?
The one thing I like about Eddie Kingston is when he talks, I feel it. It's not like it's because with some of the guys you could tell that they've got the script down, and again, it's all about the delivery of the promo. And Eddie Kingston goes in and he just talks like a regular guy, the way he delivers it. And that's why I think so many people connect with him on that level. I mean, like, I loved the end of that promo where he's like, oh yeah, by the way, Ishii's my partner. Then he just threw the mic and walked away. Not like, oh, do you want to know who my partner is? Well, my partner is, and you get the long pause. Ishii, he was just like, yeah, Ishii. And he just throws the mic and walks away. I mean, it was great. It was great.
It was amazing. Yeah, I had to agree with you there. I mean, Eddie Kingston just has cadence. He just knows how to speak in the ring. He, like you said, is talking to you like a normal person, not a
Yeah,
scripted actor. Okay. And I think a lot of people can learn from that. I loved what he did. I thought Moxley sold well on that too. I
he
thought
did.
there was
He
yeah.
did because
There
you know
was
the facial
worry in his
expressions.
face.
Yeah,
Yeah. You
yeah.
know, as soon as, the Stone Pitbull, and it's funny because I was talking to a friend about this while watching the show. I actually thought Ishii was going to go with Darby and Sting. So I guess somebody else I don't know.
Maybe
I forgot.
Kenta. Maybe Kenta is going to be in that match.
Somebody else, I think. Oh, what is it? I can't think off there was a rumor going around on the internet, but I don't think it's going to be Kenta, but it could be. But that was not the name that I heard. But anyway, I
Okay.
thought Ishii was going to be because they actually have some history there with him and Suzuki and
Claudio,
whatnot,
yeah, and all
and
those guys.
Jericho and all those guys.
Yeah.
So, but they switched it up. It makes sense. I know Eddie and Ishii has a great relationship, so it'll be a fun match. We're not going to go over I'll go over this card. So you have Athena, Billy Starks, Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, Bryan Danielson, Okada, Sonata against Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, MJF versus Tanahashi, the Suzuki Gods versus Sting, Darby Allin, and TBA, BCC versus Elite, CM Punk versus Kojima. That's it. Satoshi Kojima. Heard this guy's really good. And then Cassidy versus Sabre Jr., Shibata and Garcia, Tony Storm and Willow Nightingale, and Adam Cole and Tom Lawler. I don't know that was announced yet, but
I don't think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who Tom Lawler is either.
He
What
was a
are you?
He was a UFC fighter turned wrestler, I think.
Okay, and he's in New Japan Pro Wrestling now, right? I'm assuming. So okay, cool. What are you looking forward to the most? So.
Obviously CM Punk. That's what I'm looking forward to CM Punk. I'm looking forward to the Kenny Omega Will Ospreay match. I definitely want to see the Bryan Danielson and Rainmaker. I think that'll be a good
Okada, yeah.
Okada. That'll be a good match. I mean, as far as everything else goes, I mean, I just kind of like meh, like those are the three matches that like I kind of really want to see the most. I really don't care about the elite and the Blackpool Combat Club. I mean, fuck, man, how many times can we get that same match? It's like, I get it. It's part of it's a story. It's a part of an ongoing storyline, but it's like, come on already.
Yeah, but where's the storyline going? It's not going anywhere. That's the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
There's other than them fighting each other constantly and trying to rip each other's eyeball out with screwdrivers.
And it's not even, it's not even the real. It's not even the full elite because Kenny's fighting Will Ospreay. So
and
I mean,
Danielson the same thing, right?
Yeah. So it's like come on. It's like give it a rest already.
I'm right there with you. I mean, I couldn't agree more. So I agree as well with the matches. I mean, come on, Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay. I mean, I think Will Ospreay, I'm loving everything he's doing right now.
Yeah,
in and out of the
awesome.
ring.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Just killing it. And he's not like, we don't even see him that much, and I want to see him.
No. And I mean, I was fortunate. I was fortunate enough when I was out over the weekend that I was able to find his Super 7 figure because I missed out on it the first go around. So, I was happy to grab that. But yeah, man, I mean, his matches are great. I mean, he's a great young wrestler with still plenty to go. And I mean, I can see him eventually maybe making his way to the WWE, but I don't know if he'll fit that mold, that WWE looks for. Like, I could see banger matches between like him and Seth Rollins.
Oh, come on.
What?
Oh, I mean, it would be pure magic.
Yeah. Like you see him, you could, or even him and AJ Styles, or, God, man, you did the match possibilities that he has in WWE compared to AEW is like crazy.
Yeah. For dream matches by far. And like you said, who knows what'll happen with him, but just amazing. And like I said, I agree with you. I think Okada and Bryan Danielson, they're going to throw. I'm very interested to see the CM Punk reaction. That's what they're there for. I always love Tanahashi. He's getting up there in age, though, so I think that MJF match may be And then I have never seen Sonata. I guess he is the IWGP Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah.
So I'd be interested in seeing Sonata. I mean, I'm over, I think, Jungle Boy for now.
Yeah. Jungle Boy's kind of ran his course. I mean, listen,
Yeah.
I think the two guys that really benefited the most from that like whole four pillars experience was Darby and Sammy Guevara. I think those are the two guys that came out on top of that whole thing, because you actually got to see a side of Darby where he was cutting promos, and we got to see, Sammy kind of maybe start to make a face turn.
He's definitely a face, and this will be a online like a long-term storyline with him and Jericho, I think. And yeah, he is a face now, which is great, and it made sense because he's on, what was it, Restricted, or what did they call that show or something? AEW.
All Access.
All Access, and he was coming across a babyface there. You got invested in him because of who he was and who you saw him as a person.
And I had the pleasure of meeting him. And he actually, I was at Revolution in Orlando when they were there. And he was one of the guys doing the meet and greet, and my son, my older son, wanted to meet him, and we got in line, and I was filming my son talking to him, and Sammy came right up to my camera and was talking to me in my camera. I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy how nice, how nice of a guy he is.
Yep, same sentiment. I met him at an autograph signing, and he literally took photos with everybody. Just took his time with you.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you want to hold the bell? He's like, oh, let's get another shot with our tongues out. I mean, just like fun stuff, right? That's what you want to do when you meet a wrestler. Exactly. Have fun experience, So I'm so happy he's back as a face, and or at least he's making that progression. And I think he's just great at what he does right now, and we'll see what happens. I think Darby Allin as well. He had that great promo. Even last week, this last Dynamite, he spoke well.
Yeah.
There was great cadence in his voice. He did everything well. And you're seeing another side to these younger guys that are really, really coming out. So, we'll see what happens. Again, not the match is but it has a lot of elements going on, and we'll see how it turns out, that 6-man tag match. So Forbidden Door this Sunday on pay-per-view. Can't wait to watch it. I think it'll be fun. I mean, you're going to get a great pay-per-view overall when you mix two promotions together, right? Because you see some of the matches you'll never see ever again or never have in the past. So awesome, man. Let's move on. Let's go to a little bit of WWE, WWF back in the day. Love the WWE. I love what they're doing. I mean, last week's episode, or the week prior, of Uncensored here on YouTube Live, we did focus on a little bit about where is the WWE going? Where is AEW going? And the WWE is right where they left off, with an incredible storyline with the Bloodline. You have the Jey Uso turn right now, and then even heading into Raw, you're getting a lot of things lining up with Money in the Bank, the return of Logan Paul, LA Knight.
LA Knight, yes. Logan Paul? Listen, listen, I love LA Knight, man, because it's LA Knight. Yeah, let me talk to you. With Logan Paul, and Ricochet, you're going to have another spot like you did at the Rumble with them, probably at Money in the Bank with the ladders. Logan Paul's going to have some kind of spot with the ladder. I mean, if they let him win the Money in the Bank,
he's going to win it, Seth.
He's not. He can't. Listen, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be either LA Knight or it's going to be Damian Priest. I pray to God that it's LA Knight, but yeah, I can't.
Hold on, cue the music. No chance. No chance in hell. Seth,
and you know what?
Sorry, I'm going to disagree with you firmly here. I just don't think it's going to be an LA Knight Money in the Bank. I don't think it's going to be a Damian Money. I think it's going to be a Logan Paul LP Money in the Bank. LP Prime.
I'm so over the Prime. I'm so over the Prime shit. It's like he comes out, he's got the bottle on him, he's flashing it everywhere. Does this guy not know how much of my hard-earned money he gets because my kids, that's all they want to fucking drink is Prime. And they make my poor wife drive from Target to Target, from Walmart to Walmart, trying to find freaking Prime. I mean, and it doesn't even taste that good. It tastes like fucking ass. It's disgusting. But because Logan Paul drinks it, it's got to be good. It's like people these days are so stupid they can't even formulate their own, their own opinion. They just do whatever everybody else is doing.
Well, soft fans like soft wrestlers, or stupid fans like stupid wrestlers. I have no idea, bro.
Listen, I've come out. I'll say it once. I'll say it 1,000 times. I am the voice of the voiceless. I will say the shit that people are that people are afraid to say.
Let's go.
Look, Prime tastes like shit. Don't buy it.
I will never buy it just because you said that. I will tell you what tastes like shit. If it looks like it, if it tastes like it, then it's shit. It's Logan Paul on pro wrestling television. So here's my take on this. I fully credit Logan Paul for everything he's done in the ring. He has been a excellent performer in ring. I am not going to discredit that whatsoever.
No, I will agree with you on that. I will give him that credit. As far as many matches as he has with very little training that he's had, the matches that he is in are entertaining. I will give him that.
Upper echelon. He knows what he's doing in that ring. He's just a natural. It's just that simple. Here's the thing what I hate about Logan Paul, and maybe this is good. Maybe we're supposed to hate Logan Paul. Maybe he should be the devil heel, and I think he has that in him because of his personality, because the way he carries himself. He's arrogant. I don't like him. He's slimy. I don't know how people like him in real life. Just seeing that face makes me cringe, and it doesn't make me want him. It makes me want to boo him. So maybe they're doing the right thing here with him in the end. I don't know him personally or anything like that. I just don't like him on my TV.
You want a hot take?
Yeah, hot take it.
WrestleMania 40 this year in Philadelphia. You ready? Logan Paul versus Dominic Mysterio for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
Book it. Hey, as much as everybody doesn't want to say it, as soon as he showed up on Raw and entered Money in the Bank, he's going to win. He's going to win that Money in the Bank. He's going to cash that Money in the Bank in, and I believe he's going to be the next World Heavyweight Champion.
Oh, please, God, no. God help us all. God help us all. Stop putting shit out into fruition.
It's the shit. You could see it on the wall. It's writing on the wall, but I hope not as well. Moving on a little bit. What else did you, Seth, personally like about Raw? What did you think about it as a whole?
I mean, again, it's the consistency. It's like, we're getting good matches that are building up to Money in the Bank. They're really going hard on this whole Finn Balor, Seth Rollins storyline that they got going on now. I mean, even trickled over into NXT. When Braun Breaker was fighting Rollins, and after that match was over, Finn Balor came out and attacked Rollins, and keep softening them up for their match at, Money in the Bank. And, I like the fact that that Finn Balor's getting a push, but like, it's, he's right, and I like the storyline because, again, he got hurt 7 years ago and he never got a chance to get the title back after he came back from injury, because technically he never lost it. He had to hand it over, vacate it because he got hurt. But when he came back, he should have had that opportunity to get it to get a title shot, and he never did. He hasn't really been in the title picture, I think, since he fought Roman the last time as a demon.
Yes, I believe so. That's correct.
So I mean, it's good to see that he's getting back into the title contention. The question is, how are they going to let the story play out? Are they going to let him win, or are they going to keep it on Seth? Because, the bigger draw is if Logan Paul wins, maybe Logan doesn't do the traditional, cash in after a match and the guy's wrestled. Maybe he just calls his shot beforehand and says, hey, I'm cashing this in. Me and you are going to have a match at SummerSlam.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think that he doesn't win. I do agree with you. I like the storyline. I actually like how it's it's crossing brands, man. You had Seth Rollins on NXT defending the World Heavyweight title against Braun Breaker, which was a pretty good match. I wouldn't say it was like a great match of one of the greatest matches of all time, but I think it showed a lot about Braun Breaker, where he is as a professional wrestler right now in his career, and obviously Seth Rollins just going over there and trying to get this younger talent, putting them over, give him a little bit of rubby dubby on Carmelo Hayes and such. So that also continued in NXT, where Finn Balor did attack Seth Rollins after the match, the main event. So you did have a little carryover there. I do like how they're actually just telling the story. I agree. All the historical references are great. I'd like to see Finn once again to hold that title. I just don't think it's time right now. I just don't think you put a title on Finn Balor just so shortly after Seth Rollins has won, because he's super, super over. You don't want to have two heel champions, I don't think, in the company again. I mean, that's the reason why you kind of created the title in the first place, right?
Right.
And yeah, I think it's just the natural progression is Logan Paul is going to win Money in the Bank and cash in on Seth eventually, whether that be at SummerSlam or in between or after. The writing is on the wall, Seth.
Well, I mean, listen, if he's gonna cash in on Seth, and that's the case, if Logan Paul wins, the cash in really needs to happen at SummerSlam. That way, there's an opportunity for Seth to win that back, before Mania, because again, Seth is a main eventer. That's the guy you want headlining other than Roman. So, I mean,
what's very intriguing, I don't know where Seth Rollins goes. I think he's super over, but again, you have the Finn Balor storyline now. Maybe you throw in Logan Paul in there, but then even after that, like you said, let's just say he loses it before and then wins it back at SummerSlam or something like that to head into WrestleMania with the belt. Who is his natural progression? Who does he face?
I mean, at that point, you turn Seth back heel, and then he fights, dare I say, he fights Cody at Mania, because we don't know if we're going to get Cody and Roman at Mania, which Cody and Roman at Mania makes the most sense to finish that off, and Cody win the big one and beat Roman out of all people to do it. Unless, they go the other route where they have Roman on this whole thing now where he's champion for X amount of days and he's surpassing all these legends, so they could make him like the number one guy who's held the title for the longest time ever. You know what I mean? So it's like, what do you do at this point?
You maybe you put it in the hat and you pick from there. I have no idea. It's like you said, you can go either way. I think both are intriguing storylines. People don't I think place this and talk about even CM Punk not watching the Rocky movies, but they don't really I haven't heard anybody really talk about this. Remember, it is in Philadelphia, WrestleMania. So if you are gonna go this like Rocky storyline with Cody, then it just makes sense for all the references and everything to have him in Philly, running the stairs, going into Mania, the underdog. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ties in even the history of Philadelphia. So I think you could have that work out in Philly. Again, as fan of Cody being champion, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't like Cody as champion. But anyway.
But again, do you have him fight Seth, or do you have him fight Roman? Obviously the bigger of the two would be for him to fight Roman, because people look at Roman as Roman's belt as the number one belt, where they look at Seth's belt again as a secondary belt. So do you want to give Cody the secondary belt, or do you want to give him the main belt?
Here's what I do. I take the title off of Roman even prior to it. He doesn't have it. And I put Rock and Roman in a non-title match. And then you have one title unified at WrestleMania by
Cody.
Cody.
Seth and Cody.
Maybe.
I mean, listen, we've been,
I don't know.
we've been talking for years about Rock and Roman, for the head of the, for the, have the head of the table, but
It has to happen.
yeah.
I mean, I want it to happen so bad that I don't even care if Roman's the champion. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter. At that point, the title is insignificant,
See, to me, where I think this is falling, where the opportunity to excel the bloodline storyline, to push it even further out, is where you have a guy like Jacob Fatu, who's one of their relatives. You bring him in and you put him with Roman and Solo, and then the Usos are like, oh well, we brought in blood too, and that's when the Rock comes out. So you got the Rock and the Usos against them three, and then it starts developing the Rock versus Roman for the for the head of the table thing.
Yeah, you could do a Survivor Series match with it and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you that's what naturally you would want, one family against another, to continue
right, because you can get Tamina and Nia Jax involved.
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of angles that they can go with that. It's just a question of whether they're going to pull the trigger or not.
Exactly. So it'll be fun to see as it moves forward and everything like that. I mean, I think that Money in the Bank will be fun. I think you're going to have a lot of also obviously Irish, Scottish, and English stars on the card. I think they're going to shine. I think that's why Butch was put into that Money in the Bank match. Give him a little shine there.
Drew should have been in the Money in the Bank match.
I did see somebody. There was a post that put Drew against who was it at SummerSlam? It was just somebody odd. Maybe it was Seth.
I don't think he's gonna be around. I think his contract's up, and you're gonna see him debut at Wembley, I think.
I mean, would you rather have Goldberg or Drew McIntyre at Wembley Stadium?
I'd rather have Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, same here.
I mean, don't get me wrong. As much as I love Goldberg because I want to support my Jewish wrestlers, but I mean, but yeah, man. I mean, listen, Goldberg is definitely, his time is come and gone. I mean, listen, the only way I could see them doing a spot with Goldberg is maybe during the Sting match, and he comes out and spears Jericho to help Sting, But like, it's like, come on.
Yeah, no, I agree. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, man. It'll be interesting. Moving on to the next portion of the show, guys, here on Uncensored. We're doing a little fig talk. This is where it gets fun now, because all this pro wrestling could get, oh my gosh, it could just be exhausting. And where it's going and what's happening and who's doing this and the dirt sheets and the actual professionals and what they're saying and everything like that. And recapping
who said this. Yeah.
Who said that? Who said this? But this is what we think. This is our opinions. We are not professionals here by any means. It's just our opinion of longtime professional wrestling fans. So in our recap sessions, don't take anything personally. It's just what we're talking about, how we personally feel about wrestling as a whole. Don't forget to follow us Instagram, Twitter, all social media platforms at SQD Circle AFP. You are here, the Squared Circle Action Figure Podcast YouTube channel, Uncensored live stream. And we're going to talk a little bit about figures, Seth. Man, a lot of figure stuff going down. So one of the controversies, I just wanted to talk about this. Do you collect any retro style figures?
As far as
like Hasbro,
I have the W. I have the W. I have the W. I have most of the WWF Hasbro line. I'm still trying to finish that up, but I got most of it. I've got some retro Kenner style figures. I got some retro Batman Toy Biz, figures. So yeah, I've got my fair share of vintage.
Yeah, so like this has been a big resurgence in wrestling figure collecting, right? Is these Hasbros and the completion of the Hasbro line, and and
to get figures on scale with the Hasbros of guys they never made and things like that. Yeah,
and you have all these companies. You have Cella now; they go by another name.
Well, they're epic. They're epic. They're epic toys. You've got what is it? Zombie Sailor. You got Hastell with his grapplers and gimmicks, and you got heels and faces, and who else do you have? I mean, there's a bunch
Mattel's still making retros.
Mattel makes the retros. Yeah, you got a bunch of guys out there who try to make the Hasbro style-esque figures.
Yeah, so I guess we're gonna go a little controversy equals cash. Well, we don't actually make any cash doing this, but maybe one day, who knows, but controversy equals cash. So Matt Cardona on Father's Day of the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast posts a video of Hastell's toys, grapplers, and gimmicks. Tony Norris, guys. It is Tony Norris, not this guy
Ahmed Johnson.
We don't know we don't know who Ahmed Johnson is. So and the thing is falling apart. The Godfather Smoke Train figures falling apart and stuff like this. So I have mine sitting downstairs, and I'm like, man, this sucks for Mitch. I'm like, oh my god, like this guy just posted all this stuff. I felt so bad.
Yeah, I saw people posting pictures about the Tony Norris or the Ahmed Johnson where they lift the arm up and it's splitting at the shoulder. I saw with the Smoke Train that the elbow bends further back than it's than it's supposed to. Yep. So I mean, listen, you know what? It's the guy's first time putting out figures. You can't hate on the guy. The guy's giving it the old college try. Hopefully again. And that's the thing. You learn from this and you progress. So, maybe the next wave that comes out, might be a little bit better, and it gets better and better, and so on and so on. So it's like, I always feel when people, I mean, even look at what happened with the Power Town figures, the legs snapped off, and, Power Town went back and they fixed the issue, and now people starting to get them, and people love those figures. So I mean, again, it's the guy's first time putting out figures, so it's like you can't throw shade at the guy for for trying, so all you can do is hope that he learns and fixes catches things and fixes it.
Yeah, I just felt so bad for Mitch, and Mitch, if you watch this at all or anything, you're gonna do right by everybody. I know that, and I did get one of the Tony Norris, and mine doesn't have that problem. I posted a bunch of scale pictures. A lot of people on Instagram like those pictures, so if you do want to see the comparison and scale of all the newly produced Hasbro retro or retro style figures for wrestling figures, go to my Instagram page at SQDCircleAFP and check out those photos. I personally in hand thought that Hastell Toys, Grapplers, and Gimmicks were the closest to the original Hasbros that we've got so far. So that's all I can say.
Even over the heels and faces?
Yes. Look, feel, and shine is there. You put them right next to it. I'm telling you. So, and I'm not discrediting Zombie Sailor. Josh is a great guy. He's doing the right thing, but he's doing a more realistic Hasbro style. And I think Mitch with his Grapplers and Gimmicks line is doing a more traditional cartoony retro style. So I think both of them, Zombie Sailors are great. You put them down to your retros, they look phenomenal. But again, they're just a little more realistic. Like even if you look at Shawn Michaels or Yokozuna, the way the faces and stuff like that, they're not going for likeness. The Hasbros back in the 90s weren't going for likeness. They were getting like, they're a little more cartoony, right? As most action figures were back in the day, So anyway, I think Mitch's stuff, the Grapplers and Gimmicks line actually is more along those that Hasbro line. I loved him. I loved the Ahmed. I think it looks great. I have him on display. He shines beautifully, and I think he can fit into your mid 90s collection perfectly. So yeah. I recommend it personally. Go pick one up if you want to see one for yourself. Grapplers and Gimmicks, Hastell toy. Hang in there, brother, and he will correct everything like Seth just said. I mean, God, give him a break, guys. There are duds in production, trust me.
I mean listen, no figure, again, and I think that's the problem with one of the problems with today's society is people just have such high expectations and don't understand that not everything is always going to be perfect first time out. That's how businesses are able to adapt and grow. They learn from their mistakes. I mean, who puts a product out perfect on the first shot? No company does. It's impossible.
Yes. So he will do better at moving forward. And like I said, my figure was fine. And I think a lot of people are reporting theirs were too. So it just could have even just been a factory error. So we'll see. I mean, I think he's got to tighten that seam up a little bit, maybe a little glue on it, whatever. But we'll go, we'll move on from there. You just obviously put out a video of an awesome fig hunt, and you were talking about getting some of these, one of my favorite actually figure series, Unmatched Fury from Jack's Pacific. I mean, gosh, that was back in the what, 2000s or something. I forgot what year.
Yeah, those were the old Jacks. Yeah, the old Jacks Pacifics.
And you're getting into a little bit of a customizing thing going on here.
I am. I picked up the AEW unrivaled or unmatched. It's unmatched CM Punk. Because I want to try my hands in making the all out attire with the white pants. So there's I was telling Will beforehand, there's a custom wrestling figure Facebook group I found, and somebody had one in there, and I mean, it looked impeccable. Like it came right off the factory line. Like you could take the figure right out of the box and you can never tell that someone customized it. So I messaged the guy, and I had my questions and everything. And, he told me how he went about doing it. And I was like, oh, so this is something that I can do. This is not something that's difficult, or, you just got to be careful when you're painting. So, I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to give it the old college try. That's what we're going to do. And I'm probably going to wind up making a video out of it as well for the channel. So I'll post that once I have that. I'll take it step by step of from stripping to painting to the finished product and everything. So I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on that.
Yeah, customization of all figures, and especially wrestling figures, have been going on a while. I am not that art sound to be customizing anything, so I'm just happy popping heads and on and off, and kind of leaving it
swapping parts.
Swapping parts, rudimentary. I'm not getting involved with paint or anything like that. I'd probably end up looking like terrible. So, but I love that line. I just love how statuesque the figures are, and I loved a lot of the head sculpts were really good, and a lot of them were really bad. But the whole packaging was great. I love how they kind of displayed the wrestlers in the packaging. That CM Punk figure is awesome. I have stuff like a $1 Million Man, Jake the Snake from there, the Bret Hart. I'm sitting in front of my my specialty stuff, like my 1 of 500 Jericho and Glow in the Dark Undertaker. So have fun with that line, man. It just brings back so much memories when you hear stuff like that. I love hunting and finding some of those older figures that I may not have in my collection,
Oh, I always go for the gem. Yeah, we always try to go and track down the gems, the stuff that takes us back, puts us, in a good state of mind, brings us back to our childhood and things like that. So yeah.
Yeah, it's super fun. And I saw also that you got a little bit into the police academy thing, and I love that.
I did. I actually have them sitting right here with me.
Beautiful.
I got the Mahoney, and it's funny too, because I love looking at the sticker on the side where it says it was on clearance for like $2.50, so it's like it takes you back. I mean, it's funny though, because it's like, again, like they don't do stuff like this anymore, where you cut out the back and you do the mail away to try to get the mail away figure. It's like they don't do stuff like that anymore.
Dude, that figure line. And I think I just don't have a bad thing to say about Kenner. Kenner just produced a ridiculous amount of just fun lines, right? I mean, they had so many IPs, Bill and Ted, Police Academy,
Bill and Ted, Star Wars, the Star Wars. They had the Batman, the Batman, what is it? Batman Returns line they had.
So good. They had Indiana Jones. I mean, everything they did was just super awesome. Yes. So it takes you back. I love it. And that line. So I love that you mentioned the mail away figure from that line, because that Captain Harris, man, you cannot find. It is like impossible to find this figure complete.
Yeah.
And if you can, it's like $1,000. Like it's
probably more than that.
It's crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
I saw an incomplete one at a local toy show recently. I do some selling at a local toy show. All the information is on my Instagram account, Woodbridge Toy Show. But anyway, I saw one at a local toy show and I was like, man, it had a little discoloration. It was missing the hat. I'm like, I just didn't want to even that figure was like $50. I'm like, I can't justify paying $50 for this, when it's missing so much,
Yeah.
But it's just a fun line. And again, it, like you said, it brings you back and absolutely love it. So guys and gals, go check out his YouTube channel and check out his most recent figure hunt. That was great. It took me back. There was a lot in there.
That's and that's the thing. And it's like, and it's funny because it's like he had the vehicle and the vehicle was in the box, mint, never opened. And I saw what the price of the vehicle was, and I was like, oh my God, that's not happening. So it's like,
and you see it like you want to open that too. Like, I mean, I would love to display that, motorcycle
and that's the dilemma I'm having right now. Do I keep these on card or do I take them off card? So it's like,
it's tough, Seth. Hey, look, so this is what I did with it. Cause it was very difficult to display everything I'm in on card. I kept the Mahoney and I kept the LeVar on the card. And then I have everything else loose around it, basically, and I feel also like when you get into the house category, when you get into Sweet Chuck, those figures are going to be on card, very expensive as well. So I'm probably going to have those loose anyway. I have not even got those yet. But anyway, I would do a little. I always like to do a little mixture in my display. I like to have some things loose, some things on card,
See, and like that's the dilemma I run into with trying to complete my my Hasbro wave, because a lot of the places I go to, they have the Hasbros that I need, but they have them on card, and I'm not going to spend $400 on a figure on card only to come home and take it off the card. So it's like it's like you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
Yeah, especially with vintage toys. And the funniest thing about this too, so this has such a great amount of supply. Like sometimes it just baffles me how much things are, like I can go on eBay right now and I'll find a Hulk Hogan Hasbro Series 1 on card, off card, mint, whatever.
Oh, well, I mean, there are certain guys that you could, there are certain guys you could just find all day long. I mean, but then there's other ones that you can't. And obviously the ones that you can't, like, again, like he has a what is it over at Bits and Buttons? He's got a Ludwig Vorga in the freaking case, but it's on card. I'm not gonna spend X amount of dollars just to take it off the card.
I know. I have my 1, 2, 3 kid on card.
Yeah.
But then I have so many other ones off the card, like I keep my special ones on card.
And that's what I do with the Hasbros. Like all my Hasbros are all off card. I buy them loose. I buy the best cleanest one I could find. Because listen, I know they're not all going to be perfect. They're not all going to be in the best shape, but I just try to find the best condition ones, and I purchase, when I purchase those loose. I don't buy those on card.
Yeah, same. Yep, same. So yeah, and those videos, I absolutely love them. Go check them out at Seth's YouTube channel. Anything else? What I did want to mention for our listeners, and not a lot of people are talking about this. I thought this was very interesting, and I think we touched upon it together last week, but not live. Roman Reigns is doing a private signing. I know this is like in the collectibles realm if you're into getting autographs and stuff like that, but it's going to be one of these mail-in events. It is through Fitterman Sports. I was very surprised to see that. I guess items are due next month or August. I've never participated in something like this, but I do want to get one of his figures signed. Do you think I should just do it, or have you ever participated in something like this?
So here's my dilemma with that. I've never participated in sending something away to get signed, because I know I'm going to pack the figure up appropriately so the card stays perfect, but I can't get that warm and fuzzy knowing that the person's going to send it back to me the way I shipped it to them. So it's like you're already spending $200-300 just to get freaking Roman to autograph to autograph the thing. And who knows if it's going to come back to you in the condition that you sent it in. And that's what always freaks me out. Now, as far as actually compete, getting involved in something like that, as far as Fitterman goes, MegaCon last year, I was there. Well, not this past year, but the year before that, and Undertaker was there.
Yep.
And I paid $200 to get in line for Undertaker to sign my Ultimate Edition figure. And, and it was a great experience. I got to maybe talk to him for just a couple of seconds and thank him and, shake his hand. Super, super nice guy. Sign the figure. I moved along. I ran right over to JSA's booth so they could authenticate the signature, the signature right there on the spot. And then I came back home and I sent it off to CAS for them to grade it and encase it. So, something like that, that's, I'll never get rid of that. I mean, that's the Undertaker. I mean, again, I look at the Undertaker as one of those guys that, you're going to pay top money for, but what are the odds of you ever getting to meet him?
Yeah. It's few and far between. I mean, he maybe does one or two appearances this year.
Yeah.
With that said, I mean, he is actually going to be doing one, I think at CSA. It's a card show. I was very surprised to see that. My friend's actually going to this because he's got a card. He owns a card shop, Santiago Sports. But I guess this is going to be like in Virginia. It's like a card show in Virginia Chantilly. So he popped up and I'm like, man, I wish I can get him too. Those are like two of my guys though, like in Roman never does in person ever. So again, I'm in this dilemma where do I say, okay, well, maybe I send a figure that's not that high valued, but what figure would I send?
Here's the funny thing too. Did they live stream him signing the stuff? Because for all you know, it could be just some asshole that knows how to do his signature. Are you really getting Roman's signature? Is Roman really taking the time to sign all this stuff? I've seen other mail-ins, but they do a live stream and you see the person sitting there say your name and then they sign, and then they sign the thing. That's one thing, but are they going to do that with Roman?
I don't know. I know they'll have photos of him somewhere signing stuff, but who knows? It looks like you have a GSA authentication for $10. So I don't know. I agreed. I trust me. I love
it's sketchy. It seems kind of sketchy, unless he's there signing in person. That's one thing, but to do a mail-in, especially for someone that really doesn't do those types of things, just seems kind of sketchy in my opinion.
Yeah, it looks like event time is 12 p.m. August 2nd. I don't know. Please around 2 to 3 weeks for order to process. I don't know. I may just try it out. I don't know, but I don't even know what I would get signed at this point.
That's a big amount of money to gamble on.
I know.
Because what is he asking for the signature?
Whew. I don't even want to say it. It's standard order.
What is it, like $300?
Well, it's all the extras, right? So $149 if I want an action figure.
Oh, see, that's not bad. That's cheaper than Taker.
But then if you want the inscription, 3-word minimum. So obviously not a lot of people see, this is where you differentiate. His signature is just a double R. That's it. It's nothing to it. So now if you want him to write the tribal chief or God
head of the table.
You can't even do it because it's a 3-word minimum. So you can't even have head of the table. So it's so crazy. So it's a 3-word minimum. So I guess most people would put the tribal chief or tribal chief on there. Maybe universal champion, undisputed champion. You can get a little creative, but the add-on's another $149.
Yeah.
So that's where you're getting now. Okay, so now I'm $300 in.
You can have it say the Hound of Justice.
Hound of Justice, yes. Bring back the old school.
Send them a Shield figure, the Hound of Justice.
Oh my God, how awesome would that be, bro? No, I would send him the head of the table. I would send him the Ultimate Edition figure, put the Hound of Justice on it. Oh my God. Bro, that would be epic. It would be a 101 without a doubt.
It'd be a 101.
I'll put it on eBay for 2K 101. eBay 101.
Yeah, who wants a tribal chief Roman Reigns figure that says the Hound of Justice with the inscription the Hound of Justice.
Hound of Justice. I love it. Great idea, but I don't know. Maybe I'll do that. Would be so fucking hilarious if I had that done. My God. Oh yeah, this is why we do this. We have fun, guys. Well, Fitterman Sports, if like I said, August 2nd, get your, go to fittermansports.com or whatever if you want to have some Roman signed stuff. Other than that, man, I don't know. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about figure wise? I don't know if you saw anything maybe I didn't this week.
I mean, obviously everybody, what is it? Everybody was going after those Mirage NECA turtles. People
they dropped today, right?
No, they dropped. No, I got them. I got it like last week.
Oh, okay.
I found them, and then also people are waiting on the mutant mayhem figures for the new Ninja Turtle movie cartoon that's coming out. That stuff's supposed to be hitting. I just saw a post not too long ago that because there was been such a high demand for the McFarlane '89 Batman and Batmobile that they're going to be re-releasing that as a combo set. They didn't say whether it was going to be on McFarlane's website or who was going to have it, but McFarlane put out a post saying that since there was going to be such high demand, they're going to re-release it. So I'm excited about that because I missed out on the first wave because I'm the type of guy that wants to see the movie before I buy the figures, and I went to go see The Flash on Sunday for Father's Day, and it was a great movie. I enjoyed it.
Okay. Okay, good. Because, all right, that's the second person that I've heard positive reviews from that actually likes Batman, loves Batman. And a lot of people are giving a little flack. So I'm trying not to, trying to put the figure in the ears and only listen to positive stuff right now, not read much. So I have to see it. Here's the thing. I'm trying to move away from Marvel a little bit, more focused on Mezco stuff and more high premium, like stuff when it comes to Batman and such. So my next Batman will be the Hot Toys. I have that on what is it?
I'm getting that too. I'm getting the 89
6 scale.
I'm waiting for them to re-release the 89 Batmobile 2 Hot Toys so I can get that. I can get that as well.
They definitely have it. You can pre-order it right now. I'm kind of weighing the decision. I want to see how the DeLorean comes out. I really want to see the scale and the size of it because I don't have much room. So it's like, do I want the DeLorean or did I want the Batmobile? I may have to get both now, which sucks because my DeLorean's coming in soon, I think. If
I had to choose, and that's a tough choice because they are both iconic vehicles. But if I had to choose one that resonates with me more, it would have to be the 89 Batmobile. Like when I was watching the movie and the part in the movie came with when you saw the Batmobile, it just instantly transported me back. To my childhood. And it's like I don't get that feeling with a lot of movies or a lot of things, but there are certain things that trigger that. Like, that might be you in the DeLorean. You see a DeLorean and it might trigger. No,
I feel like that about Batman too.
It's just something. It was just that 89 Batmobile was just so freaking cool as a kid. It's still cool as an adult. And it's like, man, it just transported me back because I didn't see the 89 movie in the movie theater. I remember my dad coming home when it came out on, you ready, kids? Brace yourself. When it came out on VHS.
VHS, baby.
And my dad came home and he opened up the door and he's like, oh, look what I got. And I lost my shit. And I couldn't wait to rip that out of his hand and start watching it. I mean, I must have burnt the shit out of that tape because I played it so much. But it's just things like that transport you back.
While you're saying this, I mean, I'm having the same sentiment. I never got to watch it in theaters. I did see it on VHS with my dad as well. And that is just a iconic movie. And then obviously the subsequent movies after, following all the sequels and such. I remember, I don't know, because I'm getting into the Riddler and all this stuff and going on.
Oh, listen, after Batman Returns, none of those other Batmans in my mind exist.
Well, I as a kid watched them, and obviously, and I don't know if you remember, they had the WB store, so they had all
Yeah.
the
Oh
merch out
yeah.
at the WB store for Batman, the new ones, the old ones. I mean, I
Yeah.
still have cups, I think, from the Val Kilmer days. But I actually, I did watch them all. I don't think they're as good. Obviously, they're not as good. However, I still like them. I think they're fun till this day. I agree with you. I love that Batmobile. I heard a lot of people were finding it at Macy's, the McFarlane
Yeah,
one.
that was the whole thing. The Toys R Us that's in that the Toys R Us's that are in Macy's.
Yeah, so I'm glad that they are re-releasing it. I don't know if I could get that particular one again because I probably if I were to get one, I'd probably um go Hot Toys route. The thing is with the McFarlane line is that one, I didn't see a lot of Flash stuff in my stores. I don't hunt as regularly, so maybe just people are
Yeah.
buying it up. I didn't see a lot of Batman stuff. And two, I just like I'm trying to go away from it. Again, I'm trying to be more focused on my 6-inch scale, 7-inch scale
Right.
with a lot of the premium lines. So but that's fun. I'm sure people will be looking out for that. I love how McFarlane does those like packages on his website. He'll put like 4 figures in a wave in a
Yeah.
nice box and do an exclusive and stuff like that. So he loves doing exclusives. I love Todd. I think he's great. I'm surprised he didn't introduce 89 Batman in more of the Michael Keaton stuff earlier on in this line, but I guess we've always got a lot of that. So he kind of wanted to do something new. He knew the movie was coming out, obviously. So
I mean, it could be also, trying to secure the the likeness and the rights and things like that. So
yeah, exactly. So happy about that. Other than that, not much wrestling figure news per se. I know a lot of people getting that. Did you get your Blood and Guts chain
I did.
dog collar? How is it?
I did.
Real
Oh, it's
quick.
awesome. It's awesome. I mean, the portrait on the MJF could use a little work, but yeah, man, that the CM Punk is like out of this world. And I did a review on it already. It's up on on the channel.
Shoot, sorry about that. I did not see that, so I'm gonna definitely give it a view and check out the review there because the figure looks great. So definitely, if you're looking for a review of that dog collar match figure set,
I've seen people take parts off of other CM Punk figures and make a unbloodied version. They made like a hodgepodge to make it unbloody, and then so they have a blood version and an unbloody version.
Wow, that's cool. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, guys, I think it could be one of my top wrestling figures of this year. I think
I would say it's up there. I would say top 5 easily right now.
Easily right now, exactly. And we expressed some sentiment on that Seth Rollins figure. I mean, is out of this world. So
listen, the only thing I'm waiting on for them right now is for AEW to release the because he was supposed to be in Series 4. They need to announce the next wave of Supreme figures because CM Punk was supposed to be in Series 4.
I believe yes, you are correct. So
I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting for that before I say, Seth Rollins' figure, figure of the year, because those Supreme figures are pretty freaking awesome. So,
yeah, and that Walmart exclusive Kenny, which I saw you also picked up, which I have.
Great figure. Looks
like a great figure. I picked up the previous one of that, and I thought that was fun. I'm trying to look back here real quick. So there's this site that has
because the only thing that they've announced new of CM Punk is the LJN style figure, and then what is it? They showed off for Collision? They showed off the luminaries, the Ring of Honor, the old Ring of Honor one.
Yeah, the Punk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did you see the post I did about that when they revealed the Samoa Joe? That's that head sculpt Samoa Joe looks like Kim Jong-un.
I saw that, dude. That was hilarious. I don't know who was sculpting that one, but that is a big time miss. There you go.
That was a no-no.
I knew just by talking figures it would come, and that's what I did want to discuss a little bit about that Samoa Joe. Hopefully they can pull it or something, man. I don't know how far along in the production it is, but
bad scan.
Wow. And
the body doesn't even look right either too. Like, he's very thin, and he's not a thin guy.
I know. I don't have anything good to say about it. I mean, you can't. Even the towel on him looks terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the molded towel looks terrible. Like you said, he looks like he's more skinnier than he should be.
Yeah.
It's just not a good figure, guys. And hopefully you can pull it. I mean, I don't know.
Somebody hasn't given him a meal in a couple of weeks.
Wow. I mean, tell me about it. Okay, so here we go. I got a little before we get off here. As we're talking about AEW real quick. This was so Unrivaled Supreme Series 5 was supposed to be Nick and Matt Jackson.
5. Yeah.
Supreme 4 should be Punk and Thunder Rosa.
Yeah.
So that would be your next one up, right? Punk and Thunder Rosa.
Yeah. Yeah, because we've already got series 1 through 3.
Yeah.
So, they have to announce 4 and Punk better be in number 4, otherwise I'm going to be kind of peeved because I'm waiting on that Supreme figure.
Dude, it looks sick. I mean, the prototype images that I'm looking at here, it looks great. He comes with a kind of a sleeve cutoff shirt, CM Punk, best in the world, and then the jacket. Really like this figure a lot, and hopefully they give him the white attire. It looks like he's going to have pants on one of the torso.
Yeah, they give him the pants. Yeah, they give him the tights and the pants. Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. Really like that figure. But yeah, and I was also I didn't know. I mean, like again, we're looking at the wrestling figure database here. Prior to this, just looking at some of the Ultimate Edition figures, like we said, Seth Rollins being one of our favorite figures this year so far. Did you know that there's going to be I knew that there was going to be a Monday Night War line, but the first
of Ultimate, of Ultimates, it's Eddie and Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, and then they're doing Piper and Hart. So Piper from WCW days and Hart from his Canadian, the Hart Foundation Canadian gimmick. So
interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I was looking, I was like, oh wow, I didn't even know that was announced. So thanks Wrestling Figure Database for doing some of that stuff. So yeah, all right, guys and gals, we've gone through our time. We've covered everything here, professional wrestling and wrestling figure wise. Geez, we did a lot we're talking about McFarlane on here. That's pretty crazy. But I thought I was getting away from that, Seth. I have to weed things out.
Listen, we all do. I keep saying I'm going to stop buying things. And then here I am. I'm back at it. It's like, it's like just when you think you're making headway, they put something out that pulls you right back in.
It pulls you right back in, man. Right back in. But guys and gals, I want to thank you for joining us for another Squared Circle Action Figure Podcast Uncensored YouTube live stream. We had a blast today talking professional wrestling and wrestling figures and everything action figures. Guys and gals, Seth, where can they find you?
Again, if y'all interested, you can find me on YouTube, just my name, Seth Bayer. And you can also find me that way on Instagram. And then through finding me on YouTube, you can click the links in some of my videos and you will find the Facebook group that I created, Bayer's Faction of Collectors, the BFC. So, if I like the abbreviation on that, I think I should make some shirts. So some shirts on that, the Bayer's Faction of Collectors, the BFC.
I like that, the BFC. Yeah, it's like the BSK back in the day, or
what is it? The Blackpool Combat Club. It's like it's got that kind of vibe to it. So you guys can follow me there if you guys want to, catch up on figure hunts, figure reviews, or you just want to talk shit about wrestling or toys. There you go.
Yep, Seth is the man when it comes to figure reviews, figure hunt videos. So give him a follow on his YouTube and obviously on Instagram and Twitter as well. You guys know where you can find me, hopefully. Please continue following us here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on the channel. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at SQD Circle AFP. Again, guys, thanks for joining in. I think we're going to revamp the name a little bit. The names on my social media is getting a little confusing. So I think we're going to separate things, make more clear for everybody and make it more simple for everybody. So thanks again for joining in. And until next time, be here. Don't forget to be here and be squared.